Hello students, welcome to Darasa Online. My name is Naftal Lucas Makumbire, a chemistry teacher. Today I want to review with you Form 4 students the topic which is called pollution. As you can see, we are just continuing to review this topic of pollution. But specifically, today our focus will be on the subtopic which is called global warming. I'm sure that right there you are. You have started to ask a question. But sir, global warming, it is very simple to explain. Sure, it is very simple to explain. But how do you answer the questions that are coming from this particular subtopic? That is an issue. So it is important for you student to connect with me from now till the end of this program to see how the questions are coming and how can you solve the problems relating to this particular part. So I'm just going to do two things. Number one, I'm just going to lead you on how to explain about the global warming. What is it all about? What are the causes? What are the effects? And what are the preventive measures? After we finish that particular session, then we will go to see how the questions are coming from this particular part. So by the end of today's lesson, I'm sure that you are going to analyze the effect of global warming and the preventive measures. So you are warmly welcome. Now let's go direct to our discussion today. We talk about global warming. What is global warming? It is a very simple thing that you can explain. I'm sure even yourself you know what is it. When you talk about global warming, global warming is the increase of global temperature on the Earth's surface. This is the definition. The increase of the global temperature on the Earth's surface. That is the definition. And the problem of the world right now, most of the countries, people are complaining. This problem is becoming very huge. That's why we are getting the education so that we can participate together in order to remove this problem, if not to reduce. Now, the increase on the global temperature on the Earth's surface. What causes the temperature to increase on the Earth's surface? Now, there are what are called greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is what results to global warming. Is a result of greenhouse effect. If I to ask you a question, what is a greenhouse effect? It is very simple to answer. A greenhouse effect is the process. Greenhouse effect is the process whereby the emission of radiation by atmosphere warms the Earth's surface. This is the definition. There is the process whereby the emissions of radiation by the atmosphere warms the Earth's surface. Now what happens here? Let us be together. What happens here is that there are greenhouse gases. Greenhouse effect. is caused by greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases. Now let us see the examples of greenhouse gases and where they are produced, and also to see what is all about greenhouse effect, how it occurs. When we talk about greenhouse gases, these are such as, number one, the main greenhouse gases are such as carbon dioxide gas. This gas contributes over 50% of the global warming. So this is the main greenhouse gas for the global warming. We have chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbons. In short, we write it as CFCS, little smaller s there. This one is another greenhouse gas, which is the main the gas which depletes the ozone layer, but also is one of the greenhouse gases that cause greenhouse effect. We have another one. We have methane. Methane is another gas. This one. So there are other gases like sulfur dioxide. It's a gas. We have other gases that can contribute to this one. Now from there, after we have seen those examples of the greenhouse effect, and I'm sure that if I ask you to mention some more, you can mention. What are they? Right where you are, you can mention them. It is very simple. Now from here, let us see where those gases are produced. In short, for example, carbon dioxide gas, where is it produced? This one can be produced from burning of vegetation. Yes, burning of vegetation has become the problem. In Tanzania, most of the farmers in the villages, when they want to cultivate or to do agricultural activities, when it is the season for cultivation activities, they clear the land just by burning vegetation. This is burning of bushes. So the burning of bushes produces carbon dioxide gas. If oxygen gas is limited, we get carbon monoxide, which is produced also. But this gas is produced from this activity. Now also, this one can be produced from burning of fossil fuel like petrol, diesel, etc. Few to mention. So when these are burnt, they produce the gas. Also, when we come to methane gas, which is written HCH4, this is methane gas. Where is it produced? It can be produced from pad production. Do you know pad? Rice. Now here, the pads, after harvesting, they decompose. So after decomposition, they produce this gas, which is also a very dangerous greenhouse gas, this one. Now, chlorofluorocarbons, these are used, can be used in coolants and the refrigeration system, air conditions that can be found in cars, at our homes, in offices. They produce this one. So they are very, very dangerous when they are present in air. So after we have seen that, it is important now to explain the greenhouse effect. What is it all about? Now what happens is that the sunlight, when it reaches the Earth's surface, the Earth's surface absorbs some of the sunlight energy. But some of the some of the sunlight will be radiated back to the atmosphere. in longer wavelength. Now, after that one has taken place, those longer wavelength of the sun, of the sunlight, they meet with these greenhouse gases. Now, when they meet, these greenhouse gases absorb those sunlight energy, and after they absorb, remember they are in the longer wavelength. After they absorb, therefore, they warm the Earth's surface, and that one is what is called greenhouse effect. Or in other words, these greenhouse gases, they act like a mirror to reflect back the radiant energy, which was supposed to be lost in the space, but they radiated back to the atmosphere, to the Earth's surface, due to the greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases act like a mirror to reflect back radiant energy by the atmosphere. So this radiant energy is reflected back by the atmosphere to the Earth's surface. And that one is what is called greenhouse effect. When that radiant energy is reflected back by the greenhouse gases, that is what is called greenhouse effect. So the Earth's surface is warmed. So it is important for you to remember these very simple explanations. Now, after we have seen that one, let's come to the activities that produces these greenhouse gases. So in fact, let us discuss about the causes of global warming. Causes of global warming. Yes. Number one, let's start with these human activities. Let's start with agricultural activities. How does agricultural activities contribute to global warming? As I've said, that when the land is prepared for cultivation, most of the farmers have the habit, and of course that is normal. They want to clear the farm by burning the vegetations. So burning of vegetations produce carbon dioxide gas, which is one of the greenhouse gases. This produces carbon dioxide gas. As I said, this is the main greenhouse gas which causes global warming. So that is number one. Number two, another human activity which contributes to global warming is industrial activities. Industrial activities also produces gases, even carbon dioxide, because there are fuels there, machinery operations. They are producing these gases, carbon dioxide gases, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogens. They are produced, and actually they are taken into air. So that is air pollution, and those gases becomes very dangerous to our Earth, to this Earth's surface because of the global warming. So that's very simple. I can't write each and everything on the blackboard. You have to listen and to follow. Number three, apart from that one, also volcanic activities, volcanic eruption. This one also produces gases. Even sulfur dioxide gas, which can be erupted here. during the eruption, sulfur dioxide gas can be released into the atmosphere. So that one becomes the problem. So it is very important for you to understand these very simple facts. Now, let's go to the fourth one. It is about deforestation. Deforestation. Do you know what is deforestation? Cutting down trees without replacement. That is deforestation. Now, you can ask yourself, why cutting down trees is related to global warming? Yes, they are related because trees absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So as you have studied in biology, the topic of nutrition about the photosynthesis, one of the raw materials for food manufacturing in plant is carbon dioxide gas. So this carbon dioxide gas is obtained from the atmosphere. So when you cut down the trees, that means because the process of the production of the gas is continuously, carbon dioxide will be in excess and it will proceed causing the global greenhouse effect, which results into global warming. Therefore, deforestation, due to the fact that it decreases the plants. Now, the amount of carbon dioxide will remain in large quantity, resulting to cause the global warming. So cutting down trees causes the carbon dioxide gas to increase as the production of the gas is continuous by human activity. Human activities. Here, as I say, as the matter of fact is that plants absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This reduces carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Hence, reducing the effect of greenhouse gases, greenhouse gases, or we can say global warming. So this is the role of the plant. So if the plants are not there, the effect will be this one. That means carbon dioxide will continue increasing because the production of this is continuously because of the human activities. Therefore, this one causes it. So it is important not to cut down trees. If you cut the tree, just plant a tree. Number 4. Number 5, we have burning of fossil fuel. Burning of fossil fuel. Yes, fossil fuels, as I've said, like kerosene is also diesel, petrol. So when they are burnt, they produce gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, which are very dangerous to our health because of the global warming. They are very dangerous. So this one produces gases like carbon dioxide and oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. So like that one. Therefore, these are some of the causes of the global warming. That means these activities result to the production of these gases, which are very dangerous. Now, after we have seen this one, let us discuss about the effect of global warming. Effects of global warming. Number one, rise in temperature on the Earth's surface. Earth's surface. Yes, we have seen how the Earth's temperature increases. The temperature on the Earth increases. We have seen the process. Are you comfortable to live in an area where the temperature is very high? And I'm sure that most of the people, even here, even in Dar es Salaam, for example, Dar es Salaam region, it is said to have very high temperature sometimes. It is very hot sometimes. And sometimes, at that particular time, people are not comfortable to live with that hot conditions. Therefore, global warming results to the rise of temperature on the Earth's surface. Do you see? It is very dangerous. Number two, this one, because of the increase on the temperature on the surface, will give the result into another effect. And this effect is about melting of the ice. Melting of ice. This also can be dangerous. As you can see, the continents the continent which have a lot of ice or are covered by ice, some of them, or in some places, due to the increase of the global temperature on the surface, this ice is melting. So what is the effect of melting? This results in the increase of the sea level here. Results to the increase of sea level. The increase in the sea level, which is very dangerous. And we are going to see other effects which can be related to that. Now the second one, the third one is about change of world climatic pattern. Climatic pattern. Global warming has brought the problem of predicting or forecasting the weather. So here it is difficult to forecast weather. It is difficult. Yes, because where you are expecting the rain, it is not coming. The time you are not expecting it, it is coming. So you can see, it is unpredictable. That one is the problem. Another one, this may result into the death of some organism. Death of organisms. This one may result to the extinction. Extinction of some organisms. Extinction. Do you know what is extinction? Extinction is the total disappearance of an organism on their surface. That means once they die, all the species, once they die, they are not going to appear anymore. This is extinction, like dinosaurs. They disappeared because of the change in temperature. So this is very dangerous to the living organisms that are living on this Earth's surface or our planet. Another one is that it results to the diseases. Diseases. Yes, like malaria. Because the parasite that transmits this disease, this is the mosquito, of course, needs the environment like hot weather, which is hot moisture. It is a very good condition for these ones to survive. So these diseases are there. That's why in very hot regions, the malaria disease is affecting much. Now, another one, disappearance. Disappearance of some islands. Due to rise in sea level, some of the islands are disappearing, and it is expected. If the process of global warming continues, the ice are still melting. You see, the sea level will rise. So water will cover those islands. And this one reduces the settlement for the people who are living in those areas, and even attraction for the tourists. So that is also another effect of global warming. Now, after we have seen this one, still we can have another one. This one, there are major events. There are some events which are not normal, like drought, which can result into desertification. Desertification. When the temperature is very high, it leads to drought. That means the plants will die. If the plants die, that means the land will remain bare. If it remains there for a long period of time, when that land is exposed to that high amount of temperature, then desertification will take place. Apart from that one, even floods. Floods can occur due to the following reason. Melting of the ice, which causes the rise in the sea level, can break, and even the rivers can break their path, leading to floods. But apart from that one, even the rainfall. Sometimes the rainfall may come in large quantity than expected. It may result into the flood. So there is a problem on these particular issues. So global warming is very, very bad, and it should be, we have to unite it together so that we can remove this problem. Now let us, these events sometimes can call, there are storms. There are storms also can arise. For example, hurricanes, tornadoes, they can arise. And these things are all over. Sometimes we are hearing these things happening in this world. This is the result of the global warming. So it is very dangerous. After that one, I would like also to discuss something about the ozone layer depletion. Because we have discussed about the greenhouse gases, let's talk a little bit about the ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depression. What is ozone layer depression? Ozone layer depression, this is the destruction of the ozone layer due to greenhouse gases. The destruction of the ozone layer due to greenhouse gases. Now these greenhouse gases, which cause this problem are such as we have chlorofluorocarbons, this one, which can be written in short CFC, chlorofluorocarbons. This is depleting the ozone layer very much in large quantity. We have also other gases like nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, in short the oxides of nitrogen, even carbon dioxide gases, all these gases, they deplete the ozone layer. Now how is the ozone layer destructed? Before we go to move further with the ozone layer, it is important for us to know the function of the ozone layer. Ozone layer is very important because this one, it filters the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun. That is the main function of the ozone layer. Yes, it filters the harmful ultraviolet radiations, ultraviolet radiations from the sun. So this is just like to screen those harmful radiations which were supposed to come on the surface. And when they come here, they are very dangerous. They can cause diseases like cancer, skin cancer. They can affect marine life. So this ozone layer is there to make sure that the Earth's surface is protected. That means the living organisms that are living on the surface, including plant and animals, are protected. Because if they are allowed to come on the surface, the organisms will die. As we have seen the effect, one of the effects of the global warming, that there is total disappearance of some animals, and not only animals, even plants will disappear completely. So that is the biggest problem that we have. So ozone layer is there to do that important function. So apart from that one, how the ozone layer is destructed, that is also very important for us to understand. The ozone layer is destructed in the following ways. When these greenhouse gases, they are produced from different activities. Here we have the activities. Activities producing greenhouse gases. We have human activities. We have mentioned them. These human activities are such as industrial activities, which produce gases like oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. These ones, air conditioning systems and refrigerations, which produce this one, this compound here, chlorofluorocarbons, which are the main ozone layer, which cause the main effect on ozone layer destruction. So these activities. We have burning of vegetations. Burning of vegetations can produce the gases. We have discussed about that one. We have burning of fossil fuels. These are the activities which produces these gases, which are very dangerous. So these gases, they destroy the ozone layer. So it is important for you to understand that one. We have discussed so many things about these activities. So these are the causes. You have to remember them. Yes, they are very simple. Now, when these gases are produced, greenhouse gases, when they are produced, they go to this layer, the ozone layer. The ozone layer is about 17 to 30 kilometer here. Ozone layer. In the region called stratosphere, it is found, this ozone layer. So these greenhouse gases, they tend to go and react with this ozone layer. And when they react, they create atmospheric windows or holes. So when those windows are created because of the reaction of these greenhouse gases and the ozone layer, now the ozone layer failed to function properly. Now when it fails to function properly, those harmful ultraviolet radiations will come directly on the Earth's surface, and that becomes very dangerous to your health and to my health. So it is simple like that. So this is about ozone layer depression. So it has got some effects. I wanted to give you this short concept because of the relation between of the greenhouse effect caused by greenhouse gases, which is that into global warming. Now this one, to mention some of the effects of ozone layer depression, ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion. They cause diseases. Can you write it? They cause diseases. Here we can have diseases like skin cancer. Yes. And skin rashes because of those ones. So they are very dangerous. They can also affect in marine life. Now, after having those a little concept that I wanted you to know from this particular part. So from there, how can we do to prevent the global warming? Number one, reducing the emissions of the greenhouse gases. Here, use alternative source of energy rather than fossil fuel. That is a preventive measure of global warming. For example, you can use solar energy. Solar energy can be used. Wind energy can be used. So it is very, very important for this one to understand the preventive measures of global warming. Another one is afforestation. Afforestation and reforestation. Reforestation. What is the difference between the two terms? Afforestation is concerning with the planting trees to the areas where the trees were not planted. And the reforestation means planting trees after cutting trees. So after deforestation, we can do reforestation. Now this one will enable to balance the atmospheric gases such as absorption of carbon dioxide. As I've said there before, plants absorbs carbon dioxide gas, which is the main greenhouse gas causing the global warming. So that is number 2. Now from there we can have some number 3. Can you mention them? They are very simple. Industries. The industries should be controlled so that they are not, they should reduce, or in such a way we can say reduce the emission of the greenhouse gases, stopping to produce the greenhouse gases. So even burning of vegetation should be discouraged. Burning of vegetation should be discouraged because they produce those gases which are very dangerous. Now after we have seen this one, some few to mention. Now can you mention some more points? Yes, you can mention them because they are very simple to mention. Now let's be back after a short break. Now, so burning of vegetation should be discouraged. This one to stop production of greenhouse gases. Number 4. Number 4 is strict laws should be enacted. Strict laws should be enacted and implemented. Strict laws should be enacted to prevent and reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. So the government should enact strict laws, and these laws must be implemented. Making the laws is one thing, but implementing also is another thing. So that these greenhouse gases should not be released, because they are very, very dangerous, as we have seen the effect of global warming. So that is also important. Another one, education. Education should be given to the people. Should be given to the people on the effect of global warming. Some people are still ignorant on global warming, so they're still doing the activities which are causing the global warming. So education should be given to those people in order to know that the effect of global warming. This education should be given using mass media like television, radio, newspapers, even using mass media. So if when you take your smartphone, instead of chatting, sometimes you can write even Facebook that global warming is very dangerous. You can suggest the way that people they can understand on how to combat or to reduce this problem. So it is very, very important. Now, after we have seen this one, even the combustion, there should be modifications of the combustion engine system so as to make them to be efficient to reduce the emissions of the gases which can cause the global warming. So this is very important for this particular part. So after we have seen this one, it is important now for us to know how the questions are coming from this particular part. So let us go and see how the questions are coming from this particular part, so which is also very important. For example, we have question number 1. The question number 1 says, the world is experiencing an increase in global temperature on the Earth's surface. Yes, the climatic change is a human rights issue because not only its devastating impacts affect the enjoyment of human rights, but also a man-made phenomenon which can be mitigated by the governments. Now, write a presentation on the global warming, addressing the mitigation measures and the following points. These explanations, they show you that today's ways of asking questions have changed. So what is measured to you, your competence, what have you understood from what you have been taught. So it is important to understand the lesson so that you can use that knowledge to answer the problem. It is explaining about the global warming, that there is increase of the temperature on the surface, as we have seen in our discussion. So let us see how to write the presentation. Write the presentation on global warming, addressing the mitigation measures and the following points. So let's go to the points. Let's go to the points that you can use to write that presentation. Point number 1, you have to give the meaning. Point number 2, you have to give the causes. Point number 3, you have to give the effects. Point number 4, preventive measures. So what are you going to do with these points? You write the presentation. In the form of essay. So what are you going to do? Let us try to see. Because I have taught you, I have described to you about the meaning of global warming, the causes, the effect, and the preventive measures. We have discussed them together. I'm not going to repeat here. I'm just going to show you the way of writing the presentation in the form of an essay. Because that is also a biggest problem to most of the students. They don't know how to write an essay. So suppose this is a piece of paper, the answer sheet that you have. And you want to write the presentation. You start with the meaning of global warming. Global warming, the meaning, you start the paragraph, let's say from there. You define global warming. Global warming, you define the increase of the global temperature on the Earth's surface. You can define that one. You can even say this is a result of the greenhouse effect caused by greenhouse gases. It is important. You can even give the examples of the greenhouse gases. That is the point number 1. So you start with the paragraph, then you proceed that way. Don't start this way. Don't put line. Some of the students have put line this way. That is not required. Now, after that one, you come to causes. You start another paragraph here. The following are the causes of the global warming. That, just like that. Though from there, if you use the word firstly, you come here. Firstly, you can use that one. You mention that point, firstly point you mention, and you explain it. You write the point, you explain it, even giving the examples of that human activity that is into global warming, as we have discussed together. You go there, secondly, like that one. You mention the activity of the cause. Then you explain what it's all about, giving example of the greenhouse gas from that activity. It is important to give those examples of the pollutants. You go on explaining up to when you finish the effects, because sometimes it will be limited. And here limitation is a problem, because some are limited, but they are just giving more points than they are limited. For example, if you are given to explain about 60 points, you give 80 points. Those that will be first 6 points will be marked, but the rest of 2 are out of order, so there will be extra point. So you start giving strong points first. Now after that one, you come to the preventive measures. The following are the preventive, after you have finished about the effect, preventive measures of global warming. Firstly, you start explaining them, you go to another one, up to when you finish. Then from there, you write the conclusion. So it is very simple, like that one. Like that one. Now from there, we go to the second question to see also how the questions are coming. Now let us go to see the second questions. Because we have started this one, you have to do it on your own. Now the second question says, what are the effects associated with the destruction of the ozone layer? We have discussed about ozone layer. Yes, what is it all about? What are the effects associated with it? I have described to you here briefly on the board. So it is your work now to do that activity. Just copy this question. After you copy this question, therefore, you can do it on yourself after getting the knowledge from this discussion. So you explain briefly the effect associated with the destruction of the ozone layer. That explanation brief should be put in a paragraph. Yes, you explain what is all about the what is all about ozone layer. Then you come to explain the effect in short, in paragraph, but in short, not the way of listing. Another one suggests the possible ways of controlling ozone layer depletion. The possible ways of controlling ozone layer depletion. So you suggest them. We have discussed them, and I'm sure that you know them. So you can use that one to answer those problems. Now maybe I can give you another thing which is very important. Now let's go to, now if you want to get more readings of this presentation, you can have this reference here. Chemistry for Secondary School Book 2, 1995 tie. Chemistry for Secondary School Form 3, revised edition, 2011, Oxford University Press, Tanzania Limited. So when you go to these references, you can have more readings. Now, let me take this opportunity to thank you for watching this program. Have a good time.